Kelly from the Wakanda Library here. Today I'm going to show you how to use this month's Art to Go project. Since it's October, I thought we'd make something a little spooky. I made a little spider on a web. Okay. So this time in your kit, you're going to have one of these black rings, some pipe cleaners, some white yarn, a couple pom-poms, and some googly eyes. And you will need, for supplies, you're going to need scissors. If you have tacky glue, it works really the best. And if you have access to a hot glue gun, you could do it with regular glue. The hot glue is just quicker, and I'm going to do that today so that I can show you guys how it looks when it's done, because it's fast. If you're using regular glue, you just need to include a little bit more drying time. Okay, so to start, you're going to take your ring, and you'll take your 4 pipe cleaners, and there's pre-drilled holes in the side here. You just press it through, and then if you just poke it through, you're going to go to the one that's directly across from it. Okay, so you can do that with all of them. We've got 4 of them here. Again, just do the one right across. This is going to give you the framework for your web. Okay. Last one. Now you'll notice you have 1 extra pipe cleaner left that you're going to use that to make your spider's legs with, so that's why you've got one that's a different color. So, but again, you know, it's your art. If you want to make your spider's legs out of one of these, that's fine. Okay, then you're going to pull them really tight and just wrap them around like this. You can just tuck it under here. You want it to be really tight because you don't want the web to be kind of saggy when you add the yarn on. The yarn will stick on better if it's tight. Now I'm just twisting these around like this. If you want, there's a little bit of an extra piece left over in the end here. If you want, you could trim it off, but I think it looks fine when it twists around. Just make them nice and tight. That's what the important part is. Be careful. Remember, the end of those pipe cleaners always have that kind of little pokey piece of metal in there. All right, once you get your web frame nice and secured tight like this, you're going to take your yarn and start weaving your spider web. You just take your end here and put it kind of close to the middle, and you're going to tie it. Just one little loop. You don't have to tie a knot or anything. One little loop will work just fine. Pull it tight, okay? And then you're going to weave it. You go to the next line in your spider web, you're going to weave it around. If you wrap it around one time like that, it helps it stay in its spot. So you're going to kind of go tight. And you go to the next, it's like a spoke in a wheel. You go to the next spoke, and you're going to weave it around. Okay. The first one's a little bit hard because your yarn's still really long, so the longer the yarn is, it's kind of tricky to do it. Just try and keep it so it's about the same distance from the middle. But if you've ever seen a spider web outside, they're beautiful, but they're not always absolutely perfect. They can kind of get a little wonky. Guess it depends on the spider. Okay. Use it almost all the way around. And then when you get back to that spot that you started at, you're going to tie it off here and cut it, and then do another ring. So I'm going to bring you over to this one that I've already done 2 rings around. You can see I went all the way around and tied it and cut it, and then I tied it on again and started another one, and now I'm working on the last one here. I'll show you how to finish this last one. Get this guy all the way around. You still can wiggle it around a little bit if it's not in the right spot. It'll still give you, just by wrapping it like this instead of tying it on each one, it gives you a little bit of freedom so that you can move it around so it looks even. But see how much faster it's going now that the yarn is shorter? It's a lot easier and less tingling. If you just weave it back and forth, it just does keep wiggling around. It'll keep sliding together. This helps hold it in place. So you got to kind of wrap it around each one. So when you get to the very end, you should have that little piece of yarn left over from when you tied it on. And you're going to tie that off here. Again, you don't have to make a really tight knot or anything. Just tie it. It'll stay in position pretty easily. And then take your scissors and you're going to trim it as close as you can to where you tied it. You have little pieces hanging off. Snip that off. Okay, there's your web. Okay, so next we're going to make your spider. So you're gonna take your smaller pom-pom, that's gonna be your spider's head. And this is when it's a good time to use the liquid glue. I'm just gonna put a little on. Put all 4 eyes on. You don't have to put all 4 eyes on. You'll have a few eyes in there, it's up to you. Like I said, it's your art, make it look the way that you want. You could just put 2 on there if you want. Or put 3 in a row, but I like the 4. I'm gonna do the 4. I think that's one of the things that makes spiders so creepy, all those little eyes watching you. Okay, so you'll need to let that dry for a second. I have one I already did over here. His eyes are already all dry. Okay, and then the bigger pom-pom is gonna be his body. And this is the time when I'm gonna use the hot glue because it's definitely much quicker, but you can, again, you can just use your liquid glue. This is just gonna dry quicker, and I wanna be able to show you guys what it looks like finished, so that's why I'm using it. So I'm gonna do it this way so I can use this head. Remember, if you're using a hot glue gun, be really careful. It's really smart to have a bowl of ice water by you just in case. Let that dry for a second, and then we're gonna do his legs. You're gonna take that extra pipe cleaner you had, fold it right in half, and then fold it in half again. Try and make it equal. And then you're gonna give it a twist in the middle. And you'll take your scissors and on the ends where it's looped, just cut right through there and right through there, and you should have one more loop over here. That leaves you with 4 legs on each side. And because we twisted it together in the middle before you cut it, they should stay together pretty good, okay? And then we'll use the hot glue gun again and add those onto the spider. If you put it onto him, you're less likely to burn yourself. If you try to just put it on the pipe cleaners, you might get the glue might touch you, so be really careful. And my hot glue gun gets really, really hot, so I'm gonna be careful. All right, I'm not gonna touch that. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. So you'll notice you have one more small piece of string in your kit, and you can use that 2 different ways. Like you tie it on the edge here, and you can use it to either hang your web up for a decoration if you want, or you can glue your spider to it so it looks like the spider's kind of dangling down from the web. So you can hang it like that, or you can attach the spider down here. I think I kind of like the look of having the spider right on the web, so I'm going to glue him on there. So I'm going to put another little dab of hot glue underneath him. And I think, so I'll put him right over here. Let's sit for a second. And there you go. There's your spooky spider web. I hope you guys have fun. Send me pictures of your finished projects if you can. And keep an eye out for next month's art to go.